Welcome back to the fourth episode of Not Fully Qualified. We're Sara and Taylor, and this podcast is all about getting real about navigating adulthood, careers, pets, pretty much everything in between, even if we don't have it all figured out.
With our co-hosts, Jet and Waffles.
Waffles is under the table if you can't really see her.
Jinx will sometimes, well, I don't know if Jinx has made an appearance on our podcast
Yeah,
yet.
I don't think so, because this is his nap time.
Yeah.
Pretty much 23 out of the 24 hours a day is his nap time.
Jet is the second episode guest.
Yeah, he loves being on the pod.
Yeah. Jet likes being on the pod, hanging out with mom and dad in his box.
Waffles just doesn't like feeling left out.
No.
So she's here, but not here.
She's down in the corner, down here.
So what were our wins and fails from this week?
Well, I think definitely a win was getting our third podcast episode up and 10 subscribers.
Yeah, double digits, baby.
So don't forget to like and subscribe and follow along for more.
Yep, on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts.
So what's new with us? Last night this weekend was Labor Day weekend.
Yeah.
We're actually recording on a Monday, not a Sunday.
Yep, because yesterday we were busy cooking pretty much all day.
Right. We didn't cook all day. I would say we cooked half the day.
Half the day.
But we were busy for a long time.
Yeah, we still went to Costco.
And your flour tortillas last night were bravo.
Thank you. They turned out better than I thought. I was a little worried because they did seem pretty soft, and I've never made flour tortillas before.
I think we maybe needed to make them more when you roll them out. Maybe.
I mean, it'd be nice if we had a press.
Kind of like when we were doing the what's that Indian bread called? Naan. Kind of like when we were making the naan, and you weren't rolling them out thin enough. I think maybe that's along the same lines.
Yeah, but I think we actually could use a press because I'm using a pretty heavy flat iron, what is that called?
I mean,
steak
all those
weight?
people on TikTok and YouTube were not using a press.
I know, but I don't know how they do it. Maybe they just know the touch. Yeah, because basically when I was peeling it off, it was almost tearing. That's how thin it was. Mm. So
maybe I'm
I
wrong.
don't really know how to get it thinner than that.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Well, catch everyone up. Last night we made chicharrone style pork belly on the smoker. So I smoked the pork belly for 5 hours, and then you threw it in the oven to get the skin really crispy and caramelized. And then Sarah made some homemade flour tortillas, and we had homemade guac.
Yeah, you made the homemade guac, and then I made a healthier street corn, kind of like elote sort of dish. But everything was delicious together. I would say that slightly on the spicy side.
That's okay.
But it was like right on the edge for me, but still really delicious. And altogether it was amazing in a bite. We also got some living lettuce to make lettuce bites. Lettuce wraps. And I think the only thing that would have made it just a little bit better is maybe some salsa.
Yeah, we could have done that.
Yeah, our friend has a really good salsa.
Is it Javier's? I can't remember.
Javier's?
The Mexican place that he kind of spun off the recipe from.
I wasn't part of the conversation.
No, but I told you, and it's like the Mexican restaurant chain. It's kind of a nicer one.
I don't think I've ever been, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Shows that you listen to me.
I got the gist of it. But it was really delicious.
Yeah, and then last weekend we had a wedding shower. My cousins hosted a wedding shower at their house. It was actually my grandma's old house that they moved into, so it was really special to have the wedding shower hosted there. My late grandma, R.I.P., Dan Granddad. But it was really fun. They threw together a whole luncheon for us.
Yeah, it was a brunch, and they did it Italian themed because I had been posting on social media that one of our favorite places to visit that we got to go to last year was Italy. And so it was really cute that they thought about that and made it Italian themed.
Yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, it was great to see a lot of your cousins who I haven't seen in a while. Great to see everybody kind of one last time before we see them at the big day. And
we're September 1st here. We're 30 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're was that 48 days out?
Yeah, I guess so.
48 days
Crazy.
out.
Under 50 now. But one of my favorite moments from the shower was your mom gave me 3 gold little bracelets from your yaya on your dad's side, which is grandma in Greek, because your dad's Greek. And she's still around, but unfortunately she has dementia, so she hasn't been able to attend family gatherings.
Right.
But it was crazy that she had the forethought 10 years ago.
Yeah, she gave my mom 10 years ago these golden bracelets that she used to always wear that her dad would get for her when he went to Greece and visited Greece and came back. He would always bring her bracelets.
And then at some point your uncle said then she started saving up her money and getting a bracelet from there every time she went as well, but could only buy one at a time because she had to save up for it.
Right.
I don't know how much they were back in the day, but yeah, I mean, I think she ended up with, your mom said like 12 or 16, and your mom got a bunch, and then since your yaya just had your dad and your uncle, your aunt got a few, and then now that her grandkids have gotten married, she set aside some for your future wife to have, since your brother's already married and their wives already got some, and your cousin already got hers. So I thought that was super special, and it made me feel like she was there too, supporting us.
Don't lose them.
I know, I won't. They're in the same place. They're in the same place. I would say another win for me, and something that I was working through, was the fear of visibility. It definitely feels very uncomfortable for me, but I decided to lean in, especially with the last episode being mostly my experience leaving corporate. I felt like I really need to lean into that. And so I posted an Instagram video promoting that episode by myself. And another, I also started a Fail Forward Fridays, just trying to get over perfectionism, embrace failing, what I call failing forward. As long as you're learning from it and having fun along the way, then, it's not at the scary failure that might be just in my head. And then I also asked the first question on a live coaching call in my coaching group that I've been in for like almost a year.
And that's the first question you've asked in the whole year?
Yeah. Well, maybe less than a year, maybe like 8 months. But yeah, that's the first. Usually I either get stage fright of I can't think of a question, or I have too many questions. And so,
do the same people generally ask questions, or do you don't see?
No, I mean, it changes, but you do see some people who are constantly asking questions and who are like the most, I guess, participatory in the calls. Like you see some of those people where I don't know them, but I kind of know their names because I've seen them ask questions enough. So yeah, really shedding that, really leaning into that. My fail attached to that was I thought I did a YouTube short. I didn't realize they were only 60 seconds. I got confused by uploading it on my phone, and it had the number 3, which I thought just meant 3 minutes.
Right. You
were saying that's just kind of the default timer if you do like an automatic record session.
Well, for hands-free. So when you record on YouTube off your phone, you can set different timer parameters for how long you want the video to record hands-free. And so I think that what you saw was 3 minutes. When you hit the record button, it was going to record for 3 minutes and then shut off after 3 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just uploading a video that I already uploaded to Instagram, so I don't know why the 3 was there, because I wasn't doing a live video. But anyways, I got confused and then didn't upload a short, just uploaded a regular video, and also thought I uploaded the caption. Something happened and I didn't upload the caption, so that's my fail. But now I know that YouTube shorts are only 1 minute. And speaking of
60 seconds or less, yeah.
Speaking of, you uploaded 3 this week, right?
Yeah, I uploaded just 3 shorts on my own personal YouTube channel, so I'll call that a win. which was 3 days in a row. Basically, I'm just recording daily life, little vlogs, I guess you could call it. Just for fun, kind of seeing where it goes. But man, it is tough to edit. Getting everything under 60 seconds, probably the entire videos that I've compiled for the day were like 20 minutes of footage. And so I had to condense that to 60 minutes. So it's
60
literally
seconds.
60 seconds. So it's literally like a second and a half, a second per clip.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of cutting and taking out fluff and really just like narrowing down what I should post on there. But it's fun. I got some views here. One of my videos made over 1,000 views, which is crazy.
Awesome.
But I haven't seen another 1,000 video, but it's okay. Or 1,000 view video, but we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
So those are 3 little wins that I had this week.
It's a lot more work than you would think.
Yes.
Being in a 60-second video. Yeah. Especially when you have that much footage, it's really hard to cut down.
Yeah, it's like what do you put in there? How long do you have this video for? Or how long do you have the clip for? You know, what can I cut out to still make sense of what I'm doing? So
Yeah. Well, good job. Proud of you.
Trying. No new subs though. It's okay.
It's okay. We're still in the learning stages right now. We're getting ramped up. Well, I also made it to 75% completion.
Ooh, yeah, nice.
And
do you remember what we were at last video?
I want to say 70 maybe.
Okay.
I've been trying to shoot for 5% every week, but I'm still trying to revise my first script after learning that there's a lot more requirements from that Zoom call that I was on. So I'm still working on that. And then right now I'm learning about meditation.
Very Zen-like.
which is interesting because it's pretty short module. And so some of it's a little bit different from how I prefer to meditate, but overall it's been still enjoyable.
Do you have any guided meditations from that class, or do you still like your guided meditations you've been following?
I prefer my self-development guided meditations because those are a little bit more inspiring to me. A lot of times it's either connecting with your inner child or meeting with your future self and envisioning the life that you want, and things like that feel a little bit more inspiring instead of just trying to be still. I usually can't. I mean, I think of the more that I've done meditation, the more I've learned that it's not about quieting your mind. It's about being able to be there with the thoughts in a non-judgmental way, and then also go deeper. So it's not actually about like, oh wait, I shouldn't be thinking about that, because your mind's going to do that naturally. There's no way to control that, but kind of letting it go.
Which I have a hard time doing.
Yeah. And then anything that we're watching or listening to this week?
Ooh, the new Terminal List on Amazon Prime. It's really good.
Yeah, the prequel.
The prequel.
To the Terminal List. I think it's called Dark Wolf.
Dark Wolf, yeah.
So
if y'all watch the Terminal List,
yes, or even if you haven't,
Dark Wolf.
Yeah, even if you haven't, this actually would probably be good to watch first and then watch the Terminal List, since it kind of goes chronologically in that order. Cute.
Oh.
That's been fun, and then I'm pretty excited. This week, I think, is the week that my self-development coach is starting her podcast program that I'm in as well. It's part of being in her membership, so I'm excited to learn more and hopefully improve our podcast for our listeners.
Well, hopefully we do.
Okay, so this week we thought it would be fun to get into our health and fitness journeys, because that's an important part of our lives. We've basically started in different places, but that's something that is, I'd say, like a pillar of our lifestyles.
I would say so.
So let's start with you. What's the origin of your fitness and health journey? Like, where did it start? What motivated you?
The origin was probably back in college. I had when I was living in my fraternity, one of my roommate at the time was really in shape, like sub 10% body fat, just looked amazing, physique, great. And he really got me into working out. And so I started going to the gym with him like every single day, watching what he did. And he was like meticulous of everything he ate, like tracking all his calories, his proteins, carbs, fats, all of that. I had no idea what that life was about. I was just the person who went to the gym and had a protein shake. And then so that kind of rubbed off on me. I never took, like, I took fitness seriously in college, not as much as I did now, but I did work out like every single day. And then after college, when I graduated college, I was like, you know what, like, let me try to get actually lean. Let me try to start to like drop body weight and get, leaner, because I wanted to get a six pack because I was going to EDC. So like that was the ultimate goal. It's like, okay, I'm going to EDC.
You gotta have the brave body.
I want to have the brave body. I want to look jacked. And then so that's really like what pushed me. But during that time period after I graduated college is when I really started getting focused on fitness and health and wellness. And I started working out daily-ish, here or there, rest days. And then started really watching what I was eating, was reading nutrition labels, seeing what food was what for calorie wise. Was this a good food to have? Was this high in protein? Was it just like trash? And that's when I really started like dialing in my diet and really started to eat really healthy and got pretty lean. At some point or another, I was probably at like sub 10% body fat, going right into EDC, which is perfect. And then kind of just after that, it just has never stopped. I've really kept my foot on the gas pedal with like clean eating. I started, after I graduated college, I started with the no sweets during the week for me because I'm a big sweet person. I love my sweets. And then so for a long time, and still now, I just don't have any sweets during the week, and I'll only have my sweets on the weekends. But that is just, it's giving me some goal to work towards every single day or every single week. Just try to be, one step better than I was the day before. And my fitness journey has just kind of morphed into just, that's my new life now. I don't really think anything different or I don't think I'm doing anything different than any other person. Fitness is just so ingrained in my head now that like, hey, I need to move my body to feel better. If I don't move my body, then I'm not going to feel great, which is kind of how it is for me. It's also like a good mental stimulation for me when I go to the gym. I'm able to just kind of like check out for the next hour. I'm just not going to be able to, I don't have to think about anything. All I have to think about is just like pushing myself on the set, or what am I going to do on my next set? How am I going to perform? Those types of things. So it's kind of just like a meditative process for me.
And were you always active growing up?
Growing up, I was active. I was always playing sports, riding my bike, skateboarding, rollerblading, baseball, football. All the time growing up, we were active outside. I didn't grow up. I played video games, but I didn't grow up like at a computer playing video games. It was more so like if I didn't have any friends to hang out with, then I would play video games. But if I was like on the weekends, it was like, oh, friends are over, or I'm going to the beach, or we're going to the park. We're going to ride our bikes here. We're going to go play capture the flag there. We're going to go play baseball, this, that. So it was like nonstop, like go, go.
From the stories you've told me, you sound like a little bit of a menace. And so you were always out being active, causing trouble in the streets.
Yeah, always. And then when you got into high school, you got into more organized sports. I was in organized sports like growing up, like baseball. And then when I got to high school, it was like football, baseball, a little bit of golf. And then after high school is over, the organized sports kind of ended for me. And then when I went to my junior college, they didn't really have any intramural leagues. But then when I got to my regular college, a 4-year, they had intramural leagues there, which was a lot of fun. So then I played like football, I played indoor hockey, I played volleyball. I sucked at volleyball, but that was like getting my foot back into the door for like fitness and like working out. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, it was just like going to the gym, trying to get as strong as humanly possible.
What about like your eating habits growing up? And how did that change?
Eating habits was trash. Growing up when I was a kid, it was trash. It was hot pot. Like, my mom was great. She was awesome. She made me really good food, homemade food. But as a kid, you don't realize what you got.
And she had 3 boys.
And she had 3 boys, so she was just like throwing food on the table. But like, you know, growing up, it was like in high school we had a pizza place right next to our high school, Tony's Pizza. Freshman year.
Sadly, it closed recently.
Yeah, freshman year, every single day after football practice, I would go get a student special, which was 2 slices of pizza. I'd always get pepperoni sausage and then a small Coke. And then I would have that after my football practice. And then I'd go home and then I'd eat dinner. But it was like during the day, I would be like cookies or chips or this or that. Like, and then when I come home, it was like Hot Pockets, Bagel Bites, breakfast burrito, like
anything
frozen
from
burritos,
Costco.
anything from Costco.
I had all those same things.
So like the dietary habits that I had growing up was like absolutely awful, and I knew nothing about nutrition to no one else's blame at all. Like, just didn't know any better.
Right.
And then when I got into college and I met my roommate who I lived with, he started teaching me about nutrition and like, hey, you need to have like X amount of calories in order to lose weight or X amount of calories to gain weight. You need to hit your protein goal like every single day. If you want to build muscle, you have to have protein. And that's where I started like learning these things like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have the Tina's frozen breakfast burrito for dinner every single night or snack before my dinner.
Yeah.
Maybe I should like have some chicken breasts or some lean protein or something like that.
Right.
And then it's kind of like after college is when I really started to kick that into gear, and I was like, okay, I'm going to eat clean. I'm going to hit my protein goals. I'm going to make sure I'm not having too many calories because I know what a serving size of peanut butter actually looks like now.
Which is nothing.
Which is nothing.
Way small.
So
it's like
never
this,
weighed
this
out
big.
your food.
It's upsetting.
Like peanut butter
It's
is like this big, and it's like 500,000 calories.
Yeah. Well, my biggest thing is like the box mac and cheese, which I love.
Right.
It's like 4 servings or something like that, and you're like, that is not 4 servings. Like I can eat a whole box by myself for sure. But yeah, once you start paying attention to stuff like that, you're like, what?
After college is when I really started like ramp up my healthy eating and like watching what I ate and being very particular about things. I wouldn't just like willy-nilly just have a donut in the morning. Back in the day, it was like, oh, donut for sure. Let me have one of those. But that's kind of like my metamorphosis of.
I would say that, so when we met, I mean, you had been being very active, working out pretty much every day. You were weighing out your food, which I thought was a little intense. You were mostly eating chicken and vegetables.
All day.
Which is healthy, but I will say, I do kind of feel like you almost went from one extreme to the other, and that it probably affected your gut health because sometimes now, like you're a little all over the place with the things that you can eat that like you were able to eat before you kind of went on a cleaner eating habit, and then now it'll like destroy you. Like if you have, especially American pizza, not Italian pizza with the good flour and everything, but American pizza, your favorite food. I mean, it just kills you now, which is so interesting because you used to have it every day, and then all of a sudden now you have half a slice and you're out. So I think that's pretty interesting too.
Or
how
I'm just
it can
getting
be.
older.
Yeah, probably both. But how it can still be like either end of that can cause some issues. How do you think your motivations changed since you first started?
My motivation it's probably gotten a lot. I guess my drive has gotten a lot higher. Because when I first started, I was just kind of going through the motions. I was still like drinking and eating pizza and Mexican food and not really caring about anything. And so a lot of the work that I was putting in, didn't show any outcome. And then after I graduated college, once I started, paying attention in the kitchen to what I was eating, and I started seeing the changes like on the scale and in the mirror, then that just took my motivation to like a whole new level. Like, man, I could be someone who I've always aspired to be I wanted to have this like good looking physique for the longest time, and I was never able to accomplish that because I never took my dieting seriously. And then after I graduated college and I started taking my dieting seriously, then that's when the wheels started going in motion. Like, oh man, I can actually look this way. I can actually have a six pack. I never thought some of those things were obtainable. until I started like really putting my head down and going for it. And so that just like the motivation just was like kicked into high gear. And I'm like, oh man, like why would I ever want to look how I looked before when now I can look like this? And you feel just way better. Like when you're locked in and you're dieting down and you're like getting lean, the first like week or 2 weeks suck, and then like week 3 through on, you're kind of just like locked in and you're like we call it, you're on the program, and you're just feeling like invincible. You're feeling so good that you can just like walk through a wall and just be ready to go.
Well, how do you handle any periods where you have lower motivation, or if you've had any injuries or setbacks like that?
Periods of low motivation, I probably just look back at old photos when I was in like really good shape, and I'm like, dang, look where I am now, look where I was. And that kind of just like kicks me back into like, oh man, like you need to sack up, just like grind and get back to where you were. Because I just ultimately feel better when I'm at a lower body weight, and I don't feel like when I have my shirt off, I'm kind of like insecure in a way. And then when I'm like a little bit leaner, I feel a lot better about myself, which is probably messed up to say, but like I think it's true.
I think it's true. I mean, there definitely is like a level of aesthetic motivation,
right?
But I think it goes deeper than that, because I think ultimately you also like the feeling of feeling healthy and having high energy.
Yeah, and when I was bigger, like I used to be like 200 pounds, I definitely was like low energy all the time, especially when it was like, and when it got hot out, you're just like didn't want to do anything, no motivation to do anything. And now that I'm a lot leaner and a lot like more nimble, like I'm like, I have a lot more energy throughout the day.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go attack things. Like doing yard work or something doesn't gas me.
Yeah.
Going out for the day for a big like to Disneyland or something, I'm still dead, but like, you used to be like dead. Now right. I'm like, okay, this is manageable.
Right.
What about you? What's your personal beginnings and how did you find yourself, or how did you find your fitness, I should say?
So I would say similar diet when as to you when I was growing up. So my parents, we were the house, we were allowed to have anything, which a lot of my friends, they had parents who, were against more processed foods or sugary foods, things like that. So they couldn't have it at their house. But my house is the house that you come over to get that. So any sugary cereal you could think of, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, my favorite, Reese's Puff, any of those. Everything from Costco, those Costco muffins. I used to have like a huge chocolate Costco muffin for breakfast, or any of the other flavors that they had.
Perfectly nutritious.
Yeah, they also used to have cinnamon rolls that were really bomb. And yeah, I mean, that, Pop-Tarts, toaster strudels, breakfast with champions is how it used to be in my house. My parents also were really, really into Starbucks. And I remember I was in second grade, and they're like, you can have whatever you want. So I ordered a caramel macchiato, so sugary. Didn't really like it because you could still taste the coffee, and it was kind of bitter, but it was so sugary at the same time. But I remember drinking it and being like, I feel like I probably shouldn't have this, and I might be drinking this a lot later on, it looks like, from what my parents are modeling. So I should probably hold off drinking coffee for as long as I possibly can. So to this day, I mean, I've had a few sips here and there. Of course, I had to have a cappuccino in Italy, but I've pretty much avoided coffee my whole life because of this reason, and also to save it for if I need like the big guns for after we have kids. So I mostly, if I drink anything, I'll drink matcha or green tea or lighter teas. But even then, like right now, I'm kind of on a break because I've been drinking yerba mate every morning for a bit, and I don't even know if I can necessarily tell the difference because I'm drinking such a low amount, probably one green tea worth of caffeine, which you always say is not that much because you used to drink caffeine
all day long.
A lot.
Yeah, all day long.
But now you've been caffeine free for what
5
was
years,
it? 5
6
years?
years.
I think it was a little bit before we started dating. So yeah, I think you're at 6 years.
Yeah, 6 years.
Which is crazy. But yeah, so I just remember being like, I should maybe not get addicted to this right now. So I actually told my parents, which everyone thinks is so weird, but I was the kid who was like, I'm not drinking this anymore. And then I think I was in 5th or 6th grade when I told my parents I didn't want to go to McDonald's anymore, and my dad was personally offended by that because his first job was at a McDonald's, so he's like their spokesperson. He loves McDonald's. But I just remember I was like, I think especially as a girl growing up, you're more body conscious probably than boys are typically, just because of how. This is even before social media, but
I was just gonna say, like, social media plays such a huge role in
that's
that now,
probably,
but like back in the day, still, you think?
Yeah, for sure. Because girls are always told like you need to be skinny and pretty, and so that I think that was ingrained in me pretty early on, and since genetically I wasn't necessarily predisposed to be super skinny, I started being more of a thing that was top of mind for me. So I was like, okay, I kind of slowly am not going to eat some of the stuff that I'm figuring out is not that good for me. I still ate, obviously, all this stuff through college, but more and more I was like, okay, I need to have more greens. I need to have more. Protein was never really on my radar, but at least growing up, it was like salads are healthy, which now we know isn't always the case because of the dressing. But I was kind of focused on that, and then definitely after college, I had moved to LA, and so I was really balling on a budget, and so I would also, in general, not be wanting to spend a lot of money on foods. It's kind of like, what is the quote-unquote healthiest thing I can eat for the lowest amount of money that I can spend? So I kind of went that way. But I think even growing up, so I was not into sports. I'm not great at hand-eye coordination, which
getting better though.
Yeah, which we're learning in pickleball, but slowly getting better. So I grew up, I swam, and then I did cheer when I was in middle school and high school for a little bit, and then in college I worked out. Probably in high school I started working at a gym when I stopped going to cheer, because we did do a little bit of weightlifting and like being at a gym. Did I know what I was doing? No. But I went to a gym in high school, so I continued that through college, especially when we had like the nice big college gym. And then I probably took my first yoga class, I think when I was 17. And then I enjoyed it, so I sort of sporadically continued it throughout college. And then for sure after college, I got really, really into hot yoga. And then I've continued that. Hot yoga is my favorite because you just sweat so much too, so it feels good to get all the toxins out. But I think my journey has been a little bit slow. I feel like when you locked into yours, you kind of went fast and hard. Mine was kind of like gradual.
Yeah, I just went all in.
I mostly did cardio, and I was doing yoga almost every day, and then my wrists really started to hurt from doing it so much, because you do a lot of like plank and things like that on your wrists. So especially at a desk job, that was starting to get to me. So when I met you, I was just doing cardio outside and yoga the other days. And then when COVID hit and everything, and you got me into weight training, I think I talked about this before, but I basically focused on that until the yoga studios opened up. So that was a couple years. And then I realized that the weight training had a like direct correlation to improving how my yoga practice was.
Yep,
and vice versa as well. I think I have the flexibility and the balance that come from yoga, and then I have obviously like more muscle and the ability to actually do chaturanga, which is kind of like the tricep push-up that you do in yoga. That was like the hardest thing for me to do before, and then now I can do many of them without getting tired. So I like that combination of both of them. But I would say my motivation also started out as purely aesthetic. Like it was like, okay, I want to look good for this dance that's coming up, or for this concert, or EDC, any of these things. Like, oh, I want to be super fit. And then as I've gotten older, it's energy for sure. Now it's just become such a part of our lifestyle. So you work out after work, mostly because of your commute. I work out before, like at the start of the day, and I'm so used to it now because I've been doing that basically since, I think, a little bit before. I was never a morning person, so I only started working out in the morning a little bit before I met you. Mm-hmm. But now that I've done that, I love starting my day out like that and starting out right and getting my energy high and getting it over with too. It's definitely harder to motivate being someone who used to work out at the end of the day. It's sometimes you're just so dead from work. It's really hard to motivate and get yourself
that's me
to
every
there.
day.
So I definitely, it's just now it's almost like brushing your teeth. It's just something that you do every day, and you know that it's worth it.
You just don't even think about it
Yeah,
anymore.
and especially for definitely stress management. Like when I've had hard days
when you
at
don't
school or
work
work.
out, you feel weird.
Yes, and you've actually made me more active too, because on my rest days, like I wouldn't necessarily. That was waffles. On my rest days, I wouldn't necessarily. I'd maybe go for a walk, but wouldn't really think about it. With you, like you're after like 2 hours of watching TV, you're like, okay, I need to be moving. I need to do this, and you're like, okay, yeah.
I get restless.
Yeah, but it's kind of a good thing, and it's nice to have a dog too. A dog makes you more active because you're like, I have to go walk her. I have to go take her on a walk or go explore something. But now that we're also getting closer to when we have kids, that's something that's been top of mind for me too, is I want to be able to be active for my kids and be able to do things with them their whole lives. And I also want to be around for as long as possible for them, and hopefully to see grandkids someday too. So
right.
Now it has that additional motivation of
additional layer of
like
I need to do this.
Like this is a non-negotiable.
It's not just for me anymore.
Yeah, if that's the life that I want and that I want to be around for my kids and hopefully my grandkids, like you have to be moving now, and you have to be more cognizant of what you're eating.
Have you ever experienced times where you're like not motivated to go to the gym and really low point, like I don't want to do this anymore? And what did you do to like get out of that crux?
I think I've had that more than you. I think I get that a few times a week. Yeah, there's just some days you would way rather sleep in. You would way rather go have a drink with your friends. It's the last thing you want to do. For me, having the balance of going to some classes also helps keep me accountable, because I think like I get a fine if I don't show up to a class, so that also kind of motivates me of not only do I need to show up for myself, but there's also this consequence. So I kind of like having that mix of being almost forced to go. And then the other days, yeah, I mean, there's some days that I feel like I definitely didn't give my best at the gym. But again, thinking of it as all of these things combined, where it's not just physical health, but it's also mental health, like you talked about. Because challenging yourself, even in the small way of like, let me just do one more rep, or let me go up. I mean, for you, it's probably a bigger jump, but for me, it'll be like 2.5 pounds or whatever the lowest amount you can go up.
I go up by the 2.5ers all the time.
On the dumbbells or the weight rack on the machine, but I think I see that is also huge, because I think that gives you even just like a baseline resiliency in all the other parts of your life. And they always say how you show up in one part of your life is how you show up in all parts of your life. So
makes sense.
Can I honestly say I give it 100% every time? No. But
not
do I
does.
keep the
it's
discipline?
It's really hard to give it all you can 100% of the time.
Yeah.
When
Do
you're
I keep the
out.
discipline and like still try to get back into my routine as soon as possible? Like I'm not one of those people who says, okay, it's Tuesday, I missed Monday, I'm gonna wait till next Monday to restart. I'm restarting tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not necessarily waiting for the right time to restart. It has been hard on like periods of time where we weren't able to work out really and getting back into it, like on vacations or something. But you've actually made me more active on vacations too, because I used to be like, well, I'm on vacation, I don't have to worry about it. But you actually made me start working out on vacation, which actually does feel good, especially when you're eating out a lot more. If you aren't in a position where, like in Europe, where we're just walking all the time, if you're kind of more on a relaxed vacation, maybe like Hawaii, and you can just lay out on the beach all day, sometimes it's a little hard to motivate and give up some beach time, but it's worth it, because you're like, at least I moved today, so now I can really relax.
You can just sit down and not do anything.
Yeah, not just think about how I've just been sitting for the last 7 days or something like that.
Do you follow any specific nutrition plans? Or do you have a specific way you like to eat, or do you not care about that?
I'm a lot more lax than you are. I definitely do prefer leaner proteins. I mean, you got me way more into steak than I ever have been in my life. I usually just prefer chicken, but with you, I've been eating just a lot more protein in general. I mean, I do try, for a long period, I did have a misconception about carbs. I definitely bought into those times where they said carbs are bad, don't have any carbs at all. So there was some times in my 20s where I didn't have carbs for a really long time. And you've changed that too, because you know more about nutrition. Like, you've done deeper dives than I have. So for me, I mean, I kind of just try my best. I do like more variety, so I'm not the type of person who can meal prep the same meal every single day for every single meal. I want more variety. I am highly food motivated, so I need a little spice in my life. But I'd say for the most part, you and I have been progressively trying harder and harder to eat less processed foods. We definitely still eat some.
Yeah.
On the weekends, we're definitely more
lax.
lax.
But it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, on the weekends, we're definitely more lax than we are on the weekdays. I think, yeah, I mean, I would just say you're more disciplined than I am in this realm, but I'd say in general, I think because I've been eating healthier foods for so long that it does taste good, and there's ways to make healthy food taste good. My parents have a misconception that healthy food does not taste good. And I actually crave it. Like, I crave fruit. Like, I don't always crave, like, does cookies sound good all the time? Yeah, but I don't necessarily think about it as much since I've been more on like a health conscious journey. But we still love our sweets on the weekends.
Yes.
Yeah. Because you got to live a little bit.
Big time.
What about you in terms of what do you look for nutrition goals in your diet?
I just try to keep for right now, I was tracking my calories pretty consistently.
Yeah, for a long time.
But now I'm kind of just trying to eat more whole foods and less processed foods, and kind of see what my appetite, changes.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing if I can maintain my weight right now without tracking any food by just eating more whole foods, and eating just like more meat really is what I'm trying to do right now, and less saucy type things and pre-made meals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of just focusing on meat, eggs, vegetables, and some fruit, and seeing kind of how my body feels. I already eliminated, for the most part, protein bars and protein shakes. I still have some protein bars here and there, just because they're really tasty. But I've been trying to really, and convenient, but I'm trying to really, really reduce that, and trying to see how my body feels and kind of adapts, being on a literally more whole food diet than any processed foods or anything like that.
And I feel like you've already seen a pretty big change from when you were drinking 2 to 3 protein shakes a day.
2 to 3 protein shakes a day, a couple protein bars a day as well. Like, my gut was just destroyed.
Yeah, which is so crazy. I never knew that it could cause like bloating and gas and
so much bloat and so much gas, just like all the time. There was a while where I was just like in bed and I would like fart like 5 or 6 times before we even got to bed. And Sarah's like,
what is happening?
Was like, you're like, how many? I'm like, that was like my 7th fart in like 5 minutes. And she's like, I've only like farted like 2 times a day. I'm like, what? That's like right when I wake up. So, but I've seen a huge change. Change.
Yeah, and you used to sometimes be just uncomfortable going to bed because you would just be so bloated, which is such a crazy thing. I also pretty much stopped because I finished the protein shakes after you were done, just so that somebody would finish them. And I haven't necessarily noticed a huge difference. I will say I think I am more full when I have whole foods, especially if they're made fresh, like eggs or something like that. Even just having yogurt, more than a protein shake, because I'd usually have to have a snack for sure a couple hours later, even having like a double serving of a protein shake. So what does a typical workout or fitness routine look like for you?
Right now is 3 days a week, and the other days I just have an off day, and usually just hitting the gym, push, pull, legs. Is kind of what the routine is right now. Haven't been doing a lot of deadlifts because I have like a little calf injury that I'm trying to doctor right now. So my left hamstring just feels a little odd, like right behind my knee. So I haven't been doing any hamstrings or any crazy lifts like that. And then just trying to get 10,000 steps a day, if not more. So I'm able to, I bring our dog every single day on a walk. So I try to get her on a 2.5 to 3 mile walk every morning, and then just hit the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And kind of that's where I'm at right now. And I used to work out 5 to 6 days a week, and I've kind of reduced that to 3 days a week. And I've really started to like having more time outside of the gym to do other things. And I'm also trying to get flexible as well. So that's been my goal since probably the beginning of like February or March of 25, beginning of the year. And I'm trying to just get more flexible because I'm really not flexible. And man, it is a freaking journey. It's really tough to stay motivated every single day to stretch, but we're getting there.
Yeah, that's I think your biggest challenge.
Yeah,
is the flexibility. But I've seen some huge progress in you
because we're getting there.
Yeah, when you started, I was shocked at how
I can touch my toes now, which is nice.
Not flexible you were, because I was like, "Are you even trying?" You're like, "Yeah, this is." I'm like, "Oh no."
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah, I could like barely get below my knees with straight legs.
Yeah, when you're standing. Yeah. but you've made huge progress. I almost think that one is more difficult because you don't necessarily see immediate results, right? And it's not like, okay, yeah, I have this arm pump right now, or however guys like to measure their workouts.
Arm pump?
That is, and it's, you also have to, that's such a practice also in sitting in discomfort, because your little brain can be screaming sometimes in some of these, in some of the stretches. And having to sit through that is, it's kind of like, so in yoga, there's one type of yoga called yin yoga, and I had never been interested in it because you hold long stretches, or you hold stretches for long periods of time. But my friend wanted to go because she wanted to go to an easy yoga class. So I was like, okay, sure, I'll go with you. It was actually the hardest yoga class I had taken because it is such a mental game. So, you know, you'd be sitting in like a straddle, and I'd be like, okay, you know, this isn't bad for me because I'm pretty flexible. And I'm like, yeah, I got this. And they're like, okay, that was a minute. I'm like, sweet. And they're like, we have 5 more minutes or something like that. And then you're like, wait, what? Because actually I'm at my edge.
That's intense.
So things like that, I, again, kind of go back to like the mental heavy lifting that you do. For me, I try to go to yoga twice a week at least. I'm on ClassPass, so usually I can't go more than that, just trying to ration out my credits. And then usually on Mondays, I can't motivate, so I just do cardio that day, because that's the only thing I can tell myself, okay, I can just do a cardio session. And then the other days, I do upper body, lower body. Sometimes I'll do mixed body depending on where my yoga lands, because I've learned to not do legs before a yoga class, because you do so much legs in yoga that I've been gassed sometimes in my yoga classes if I go too hard doing squats or something the day before. So I try to do upper body in between my yoga classes, and then lower body. And then we'll do some pickleball on the weekends for cardio.
Yeah, we're getting pretty good.
Yeah, yesterday we got to play Saturday and Sunday, and I'd say yesterday was definitely a lot better than Saturday was for me. Still have a lot to learn.
I think if we were able to link up more than once a week.
Yeah. But I definitely, at our last game, I think I turned it on a little bit more.
Yeah, you played really well. I was really, really surprised.
Turned on a little bit more.
I think the people that we were playing with was also really surprised too.
I know. I think I was the most surprised. Who or what has been your biggest support or inspiration along the way?
My biggest support or inspiration along the way for our fitness journey?
Yeah.
I guess myself, and then obviously showing up for you
Nice. Those are not the answers I thought you were going to say.
I mean, Arnold was
that was the answer I thought you were going to say. How many times have you played that Arnold clip?
Too many times. If I could, I would get on a bunch of steroids and look like Arnold. That would be my goal. No, but I mean, I just want to be healthy and be able to live a long life and support you and our future children.
Totally. Yeah.
How about yourself?
Same here. I mean, just, I guess at first it's yourself because there's a certain like physique that you're trying to go for. So that's sort of what I was thinking too, was just kind of digging deep and putting what my next concert was on the calendar, and that was my motivation. Like, okay, I gotta have my rave body for that. But since then it's been the same as you, and thinking about like our future kids and maybe even our future grandkids, and that also motivates me to try to stay as healthy and active and live as long as possible for them. How do you personally measure progress beyond just the number on the scale?
I personally measure progress by probably how much weight is on the bar from week to week. And how my energy levels are throughout the day, I would say.
Do you still use an app to track?
Yes, I use this app I think it's called EverFit. There's this Canadian YouTuber that puts his workouts on there, and I just follow his workouts program. It's pretty easy. It gives me the numbers that I need to hit each workout, lists out the workout, gives me if the bench press isn't open, it will give me a substitute that I can sub in for it. So it's really helpful and makes working out, like, just takes out the thought process. I just show up into the gym, open up the app, and boom, I just start lifting.
Yeah.
Which I think that's like a huge thing for some people. A lot of people get very intimidated with working out. They don't know what to do, and that probably stops them from going to the gym and working out.
Right.
So by having an app or an accountability, accountability partner, workout buddy, all those things help you stay motivated and keep coming back to the gym.
Yeah, I love working out with you because it feels like I have a personal trainer.
I'm not that good.
Well, compared to me, you are. I think you're good.
Appreciate it.
So you taught me everything. So I mean, I sometimes followed programs that you've printed out for me, and then sometimes gotten lazy, and then I just do whatever I feel like doing. But it is so much harder to track your progress when you're kind of jumping.
Yeah, if you're just walking into the gym with no game plan, you're not gonna make any progress.
Yeah, which I definitely am guilty of.
Yeah,
a lot.
It's impossible to make progress if you don't have a game plan going to the gym.
Yeah, I probably need to get back on another program.
We can find you a program.
You can make me one.
Possibly.
Just like I'll help you with your flexibility, you can help me get back on the program.
All right, deal.
What part of your journey are you most proud of so far?
Probably just the consistency that I've been able to have for the last. I graduated in college 2014, so from 2014 to 2025, I have like not stopped going to the gym.
Nice job.
Which is crazy to think because that's what, almost 10 years?
That's like 11 years. 2014?
Yeah, 11 years. Like, I've not stopped hitting the gym for that long. So I'd probably say that that's my biggest, like, accomplishment. Yeah. How about you?
I would say, I think just making it such a part of my lifestyle and not even having to really think about it too much. It's just something that, again, like I said, is like brushing your teeth. Like, it's just going to get done because you know it benefits your health. It feels, I don't know about brushing your teeth and necessarily feels good, but like I think making it such a non-negotiable in our lives, that it makes me also not worried about things changing too drastically after we have kids, because I know that obviously our schedule is going to be flipped on its head, so it is going to be more challenging to do. But I think because it's such a big part of our lives right now, I'm not really worried about that falling off.
There's no complacency here.
Right. So and especially hopefully someday we can get the home gym. That'll really help too. but I just know that it's not going away. Like, it's something that will continue forever.
It will not go away.
Yeah. So I think that, I guess maybe the mental fortitude of it.
It'll be challenging when we have kids, for sure.
It'll definitely be challenging.
But we'll be able to support each other, and I know how important it is for us to get that physical adaptation to us.
Right.
So I know it's like not something that you and I are just gonna be like, oh, we're just gonna kick it off to the side. It's gonna be like, okay, you can watch the kids, like go get it in.
Yes, and we'll flip.
Yeah, we'll flip.
Yeah, I think that's also nice having a partner who's either on the journey with you or who's on their own journey together, because you both prioritize it. And so you used to say when we first started dating, like, thanks for letting me work out at the gym and not getting mad, I'm going to do that instead of, coming home to make dinner with you or something like that. And I'm like, yeah, I mean,
non-negotiable.
It's something that I do as well. So it wasn't really a big issue for me because it was like, you're going to work out? Yeah, okay, I already got my workout in, so I'll see you later.
Yeah, it's non-negotiable.
Yeah. Okay, so to wrap this up, what are your current goals? And how do you plan to keep up your routine in the long term?
Current goals is to get flexible. And then how I'm going to keep it up in the long term is that I really need to focus on getting stretching every single day, at least 15 minutes. I kind of want to shoot for more per day. So maybe on my off days that I don't go to the gym, I'll hit like a 30-minute stretch or something like that. But that's really kind of what I'm focusing now is I want to get limber. I want to get flexible. I think that as I get older, that's going to be like really, really important.
Totally. Yeah, I've heard people who are older than us, and they say your body it gets harder and harder.
As much as I want to be the biggest dude in the gym, I need to start focusing on mobility and flexibility.
100%.
As well as strength training.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I've heard from. I have a friend at the gym. I want to say he's like in his 60s, and he used to be a bodybuilder, and he just kind of does some cardio and stretching now. And he always says, like, I used to be so, if I used to prioritize the big muscles, and now I'm all about like the mobility. And I wish I would have taken that more seriously when I was a younger buck.
How about you?
My current goals, so I want to see what this next chapter is like, making yoga actually like part of my career, because that's a different world I've never explored. I've just been at a computer 24/7. So I'm excited to see what that could mean, because when you're teaching yoga, you're not necessarily doing it, but at the same time, like I'm gonna have to script my classes and practice it, and I'm probably gonna want to go to other people's classes and keep getting better for my students, so that my classes can improve. So I'm excited to see what that could look like, as well as probably getting back on a program.
Yeah.
And then
we'll put you on the program.
Yeah, you always do. Well, thanks for tuning in to the 4th episode of Not Fully Qualified.
Make sure you leave a review, like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, and even share with a friend who you might think would enjoy listening.
So thanks for tuning in to our 4th episode of Not Fully Qualified.
Yeah, we'll see you later.